Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to talk to you guys today about how guns actually stop crimes. Guns actually save lives. Because we always hear about the other side of the story, but there's countless incidents where people, as citizens, as off-duty officers, etc., use their guns to prevent a crime or to actually shoot an assailant, and you don't get a lot of coverage of it. So what I'd like to read to you now is the story, sort of that, except, well, that part gets left out. Let me read to you this, and I'm going to have to look away from the camera to do it for the YouTube clip, but here we go. Gunfire broke out at a San Antonio movie theater late Sunday, leaving 2 people wounded and sending panicked moviegoers rushing for the exits, ducking for cover, according to CBS San Antonio affiliate KENS, which cites police and witnesses. Witnesses tell Ken's numerous shots were fired inside and outside the San Catiacos Mayan Palace 14 theater complex around 9:25, setting off a scramble to safety before police and EMS arrived. The complex was evacuated and sealed off for several hours. Baxter County Sheriff spokesman Louis Antun says the incident started when the man fired shots at a nearby restaurant, carried into the theater. It's not clear what led to the shooting. Antun says the man headed toward the theater and shot a male in the lot. The age and condition of the victim wasn't immediately known, but Antun says his injuries did not appear life-threatening. The gunman entered the theater, Antun says, where he fired a shot but did not hit anyone. An off-duty sheriff's deputy working security shot the gunman. At one point, the suspect also fired at San Antonio Police Department patrol car. He was shooting at a marked unit. Antun said he knows he was shooting at an officer, so that's an automatic charge of attempted capital murder. The suspect was taken. How is it not attempted capital murder, by the way, if you're shooting at anybody, right? But this story sounds like pretty interesting stuff, doesn't it? So this guy goes in and tries to shoot people in a theater, and an off-duty officer carrying, concealed by the way, shoots him. And it just says that she shot him. It doesn't really explain the whole thing. I had to go to Snopes to get the whole story. Yeah, I had to go to, Snopes to get the whole story. Here's the more accurate story. The employees inside the restaurant fled out the side door of the parking lot. Investigators said Garcia began chasing the employees, that's the gunman Garcia, by the way, and continuing firing at them as they ran through the parking lot and into the Mayan Palace Theater next door. As Garcia was running through the parking lot, he shot at the windshield of a San Antonio police patrol car. After an officer in the car shined a spotlight on him, the officer was not injured. Garcia then ran inside the movie theater where he continued his search for the restaurant employees. Moviegoers in the lobby bathroom and some theaters reported hearing multiple gunshots. The gunshots caused the people inside the theater to panic. Everybody was just coming out of the side of the theater, running out and the emergency exits, and everyone was screaming and running, a woman who was at the theater said. Authorities said one person was shot by Garcia. Garcia was finally stopped by an off-duty Baxter County Sheriff's Department officer who was working security at the theater. Officials said the officer, Sergeant Lisa Castellano, heard the gunfire in the theater, ran towards the sound of shooting to find what was going on. Sergeant Castellano spotted Garcia coming out of the bathroom with his gun drawn and fired at him, shooting him not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. That's what it took to put him down. Now, you would have to think this must have happened a long time ago. Because with all of the hubbub going on about the Connecticut school shootings, you would think there's no way this happened any period. 2 days afterward, when your TV was being bombarded every day telling you, we've got to do something, we've got to do something, what you saw here, and you can make anything you want to about it being an off-duty sheriff's officer, and then she knew what to do with a gun. Because I'm about to show you that somebody that's also a female, without that level of training, also knew what to do with a gun, and probably saved her life and the lives of her kids. Okay? But the reality here was the best thing to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. That's what happened, and your media did not report it. You have to dig to find this story. You have to dig really hard, and to get the full details, you have to dig really, really hard. Now, you would think that the people in the media that want to ban guns would be holding this up as another example of somebody with a gun that ran into a theater that could have shot a bunch of people. But they don't want to bring it up when somebody with a gun stops them. So, I promised you another story. Let me read you a short one here. This was from Georgia. This just happened a couple days ago. Loganville, Georgia. Update. According to Walton County Sheriff's Office, Chief Deputy Keith Brooks, the young mother shot the burglar after he broke into her Longville home Friday morning. Brooks said deputies were called in on a report of a burglary in progress. The home was in Henderson Ridge subdivision, South Sharon Church Road. Quote, she was aware he was trying to break into the home and took the children to hide in the attic space with them. But he found her, Brooks said, end quote, adding that was when she shot him. Good for her. She then ran to a neighbor with the children and he left in a car. Brooks said the burglar subsequently wrecked the car in the woods, which is where the deputies found him. He was conscious and alert when we got to him, Brooks said, adding they were withholding the name of the burglar for the moment. The Walton Tribune reported it was 32-year-old Loganville man and that he was in critical condition after being shot 5 times. WSB-TV is reporting the name is Paul Slater of Atlanta and that he has a record. He has also been listed as a Snellville resident in previous mugshots. Gee, a guy with a record in previous mugshots broke into a home and found the woman as she shot him. I want you to take special note of something here, though, guys. We have 2 incidences here, minorly reported, of armed citizens defending themselves or their families or their fellow citizens with a gun, and doing so effectively and for it to work. There's something else to note here. I'm tired of people asking me, why do I need a high-capacity magazine? Why do I need a high-capacity magazine? Well, there was one intruder in both of these situations. One individual was shot 4 times with 4 shots because that sheriff's deputy apparently is a pretty good shot. And the other one was shot 5 times with 6 shots. Both of them were not completely incapacitated. Apparently, this woman had a revolver. She had 6 shots. If this guy was alert and aware, if he had chosen to not run, if he had realized she was out of ammunition, he probably could have continued to attack her and probably beaten her to death. Yeah, there's a reason that we need weapons for self-defense with greater capacity. What if instead of 1 guy in that theater, it was 2? What if it was 2? How many shots might you need to take out that threat if you're the only armed citizen there to defend it? It's so easy to buy into the BS that the media feeds you every day. It really is. But these are just 2 examples. And what I'm going to start doing, and I might not even do this on the air, I might do this just on YouTube. Every month I get the NRA magazine. Sometimes I'm happy with the NRA, sometimes I'm not. But they are a good gun rights lobby in many ways, and they have helped us in the past. And one of the things that they do that gets vastly overlooked is in every episode of the American Hunter or American Rifleman, whichever one of the 2 magazines you choose as part of your membership, in the beginning of it, there'll be the armed citizen. And there'll be 9-10 stories of citizens who used a weapon to defend themselves and their property or to defend somebody else successfully. And no one ever reports this. So I might start doing a YouTube segment once a month where I just read to you all of the stories that, were reported there. And I can ask you guys to help me with this. Keep sending me your stories of successful defense by armed citizens. And I'll keep making little YouTube videos of them. We'll have a playlist a mile long of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, because that's how many there are, people that have successfully defended themselves. And then when you hear from someone how, oh, you're more likely to shoot a loved one, or, you're more, all these other nonsensical stats that the media just creates out of thin air, you can say, really? Well, here's how many people we have from one source documented that have defended themselves. There's 2 for you.